When they find a piece of content like that, do they work with authorities to try to find the perpetrators, or they just remove it and move on?
So this is another crazy thing that we uncovered in all of this is that for 13 years they were not reporting the child abuse they knew about to authorities. Even though, for example, in Canada, there's mandatory reporting laws. So they were actually hiding the child sexual abuse and rape that they knew about from authorities so that they couldn't be rescued, so that these children could not be identified.
How?
And
That's
we
crazy.
had the heads of the National Center for Missing and Exploited Children and the Canadian Center for Child Protection. They testified before Canadian Parliament in 2021. And they said, listen, we have not had one single report over the last 13 years from Pornhub about child sexual abuse on the site, even though even these internal documents, all of this, we know that they were aware of so much of this illegal content and they were hiding it because they didn't want their brand to be damaged. They were keeping it from the public.
I think that will make everyone question anything they watch on any porn website moving forward, everything you've discovered, because there's still porn websites right now that don't do near as much as Pornhub, correct?
Yes, there are. So, X videos, for example, some of the biggest other players in the industry still have a long way to go. But the encouraging thing is this, is that by holding Pornhub and its parent company accountable, we are creating a deterrent effect. We are making those other companies more concerned with the risk and liability they face in continuing the same business model of unvetted content. And so we are seeing some changes. But I think the important thing is that we have to keep the pressure on until this becomes a new industry standard where no piece of user generated pornographic content can be uploaded to a website that allows and monetizes this content without checking and verifying via a third party that this is not a child and that this is, somebody that's actually consenting. They're not a rape or trafficking or revenge porn victim on the site. This is just common sense. This is just 101 prevention for sexual crime on the internet.
You've single-handedly taken down, at one stage, one of the biggest, the third most powerful, most influential tech firm, um, but also an entire enterprise, criminal enterprise. Did you face any backlash from this on a personal level? Any threats, anything at all?
Oh, yes, it's been really an intense battle. That's definitely sure. But I would like to say this is that it wasn't single-handed. I had the honor and I have had the privilege of leading this movement for justice. But one of the most important things that an activist can do is activate other people and to understand you can't do this alone. And that's why it was so important to have, the many victims who came forward to tell their stories, and the journalists and the attorneys and the lawmakers and the law enforcement and the businessmen. We mentioned Bill Ackman before, getting involved and people taking their place in this fight. Even those who were in the porn industry were actually coming forward to help because they hated this company and the distribution of sexual abuse on there as much as anybody else. And they actually had their own stolen and copyrighted content being distributed on Pornhub as well, because it wasn't only the sexual crime. It was actually also copyrighted material that was just being distributed, and they were just upset about that. So it's been just this wide variety of people. I mean, from the right and the left, and Christians and atheists and pro porn and anti porn, who are able to coalesce around this message that nobody should be raped or trafficked on the world's largest porn site. And it's so easy to kind of agree on that. But yeah, I have faced a lot of backlash. I mean, I've had things from rape threats to death threats to letters being sent to my home, naming my children, their middle names, their nicknames. I mean, I keep my children off the internet completely, but, saying we're watching you, you're going to get somebody killed. You just all kinds of kind of crazy things, hacking, doxing, that's happened over the course of the last 5 years in this fight. But to me, that's a small price to pay for the progress that we're making and seeing change and seeing justice. And it's really nothing compared to what victims have faced. So it's pain with a purpose, and I would do it again any day.
So I was going through just now the top websites by traffic. So OnlyFans is number one, Pornhub is number two. There's one called XNXX and X Hamster. Are they bad as well? How are they compared to Pornhub?
Yeah, so X and XX is owned by WGCZ, so that's the parent company, and they also own X Videos.